Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich Podcast. So, Be Rich Podcast videos will release every day at 6 a.m. So, hereafter on alternate days, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the Be Rich Podcast videos will be released to concentrate on the quality of the content. We have changed the pattern of videos for Be Rich Podcast. So, in this video, we are going to discuss about the Tata Motors demerger. We all know that Tata Motors is going to split into passenger vehicle and commercial vehicle. So I have come across few of the things which can be clarified regarding this demerger. So the first thing is when looking at the profits of Tata Motors, commercial vehicle segments has less profits than the passenger vehicle. So do you see that commercial segment is weak after the demerger?
Okay, you have to understand something. Prices are arrived by the market. So market will automatically come to value. Let's say they create two companies, A and B. Right, they split it. Right now, Tata Motors is trading at 1,000 rupees. Let's say they make each one 500 rupees and they float it. They say, we created two new companies. Whoever has been owning Tata Motors share will get one share in each company and the price will start at 500 rupees. The market will immediately look at the information and will decide. People will get out of Tata Motors and the price might go down further. And the price of Tata passenger vehicle will go up, saying there's more value in it because it has 70% of the profit. So that will automatically balance. You don't have to worry about it as an investor. You as an investor, if you already have Tata Motors only, you'll get these two new companies. So you have to worry about nothing because total, whatever the two shares are, the total will continue to be the same value you are holding. Now the prospect of holding it long term is then the commercial vehicle team will now focus. There will be a separate CEO, separate everything for the commercial vehicle. They'll focus 100% of their effort into maximizing and growing commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
And there's lots of possibilities and options in commercial vehicle space itself for Tata Motors. Tata Motors was predominantly a commercial vehicle company before Ratan Tata bought passenger vehicles. And they were very profitable. So there is a future for it and will continue to grow and will continue to evolve and it has its own track record. As far as passengers is concerned, yes, it has 70%. But it will become a separate company. So it is not weighed down by commercial vehicle activities. They don't have to, the person who is running Tata Motors will not be split in attention.
Yeah.
Whoever the new CEO of the passenger vehicle is, his attention will be completely on passenger vehicle. So this is good for the investor and shareholder. So it is all good in all terms. And yes, it is 70% today because that's how the market is. Tomorrow, let's say they release a new product under commercial vehicles. It becomes very popular like the Tata Kutiana, it becomes popular, like Tata is. So it will take off and it might bring in new profits. So it is good that this happens. And whatever you see is only a snapshot right now. Right? So focus on that and move forward. And I don't think you need to really pour into it too much because overall it's good news as an investor because it unlocks value. So let's say you have been owning Tata Motors. You have had 1,000 shares of Tata Motors. And you wanted to unlock some value, you split into two companies. Then you can say, I'd rather be only interested in the passenger vehicle and you are not interested in commercial. You can liquidate it and take that capital and spend it on something else. Like what the parent company of ITC is doing. They're saying, I don't want hotels. You keep your hotel business, you do whatever, you just pay me the cash. They're going to sell it. Whatever BAT gets out of this demerger of ITC hotels, they'll sell those shares because they're not interested. They'll take the money out. The same way you can also look at it.
And when looking at the in-depth details of the Tata Motors demerger, they mentioned the term called entitlement ratio. So could you please clarify what is that?
Entitlement ratio. First word is entitlement. Entitlement is, as an investor, what you deserve, what your
rights for the investor.
What you get. You're entitled to this means you're allowed. You're going to get this. Ratio is 1 to what? So usually in a situation like this, the ratio will be 1 to 1. When company splits into two, you'll get one share in this, one share in this. In some cases, the board may decide, depending on how the company split happens, you will get one share in this and two shares in this. So it's completely up to the board and approval authorities on how they decide to structure this entitlement ratio. So that will be notified. When the information is shared, you can share it with your viewers. What the ratio Tata has put out.
And the important subsidiaries of Tata Motors are Tata Motors Finance, Tata Capital and Tata Technologies, which is a bigger company. So what is the future of three companies?
The future is great. As long as they run well and their products are good.
So will it be still controlled by Tata Motors?
It will not be controlled by Tata Motors. Once the company is floated as a separate company, it will be controlled by that board
Okay.
of directors for that company and the shareholders of that company. And Tata Motors might be a major shareholder in that. Tata Trust may be a major shareholder. We have to see how it comes out. So whoever the board is and whoever the CEO, CFO and all those guys will be deciding and running the company. As shareholders and board allocated, you will be allowed to participate in.
So Tata Motors is part of the Nifty 50. So which company do you see?
That we will have to wait and watch. That is decided by NSE. NSE decides which companies are there in the Nifty 50, which companies exist in the Nifty 50. So NSE will sit down and they'll look at the numbers and everything, and they'll come with their counsel and advisors which company will go in, because that is decided by them. Companies go in and out.
Yeah.
They have a committee for it, which is assigned. They'll look into this and they'll decide what happens. Like when HDFC, remember?
HDFC and HDFC Bank.
Yeah, when that happened. So same way they'll come to some analysis and they'll figure it out. Because the name Nifty 50 means there are 50 companies. So they'll decide who stays in, who goes out.
So looking at this passenger vehicle has more value. So
yeah, but the funny thing is, you know what you should realize. Let's say I've been doing index funding, right? Index sipping. And that means I have a part of Tata Motors. So when the demerger happens, every single guy who's been sipping, each of those guys' units, they'll also get, those shares will also split. And when one company is taken on, let's say they decide to take passenger out or commercial out, 50-50, they say only commercial is going to be there, passengers not there. Those amount of shares will all be liquidated by all the funds because they will only hold the companies which are there.
So that amount will be credited back.
That will get credited to the unit holders or whichever plan you have taken, growth plan, then they'll. But what will happen is the price, the company being held, right? The price will see a immediate fluctuation. So that could be an opportunity to keep an eye out on. So if a company is pulled out of Nifty, all the fund holders will be told to release the shares of that company because then it's not part of the fund anymore.
Okay.
So suddenly the market will get flooded with a lot of shares and can have a price correction at that point in time.
And one more thing I looked at when reading the demerger news is that they mentioned the aspect ratio as 60:40.
Not aspect, asset ratio.
Asset ratio.
Yeah, asset ratio is how it's going to split. Let's say you have 100 factories. One company will have 60 factories, the other will have 40 factories. Then let's say there's 100 rupees in the account. One company will get 60 rupees, the other will get 40 rupees. So that's how assets are going to be split between both the companies. But all these details has to come and everything has to be approved. It doesn't happen just like, okay, I want to split, like how you split rice on your plate. You can't do it like that.
Yeah.
There's a long process, complicated process, and investors have to be honored in this process. And investors will be asked to vote on everything. And past that, it will all happen after regulation is over.
So for the past few days, I have been reading more about Tata Motors. So it's like a universe, and the news which I am seeing is only a tiny bit. So as a beginner, who should read into Tata Motors scheme of things and what is happening into Tata Motors? So which they should give importance, and there are lots of things. As we discussed the annual report, you have said that it's a bigger company and there are lots of subsidiaries. So how should one...
There are many things happening within Tata Motors right now. One is the DVR is becoming converted into regular shares. Then the regular shares are going to be split into these two companies. So as a long-term investor, you are better off investing at value now. If Tata Motors is at value, historical prices you see, PE ratio you see historically, and if it's trading below that historical PE ratio, that means that it is at value. All the other stuff is just noise, including the merger, demerger, the split. If I'm going to buy Tata Motors and hold it for 10 years, all this doesn't matter.
Okay.
You understood? The important thing is buying it at value. Like yesterday, you saw the market correcting. So you should have had an opportunity to buy. Right? So that is the way to see it. Don't get into this nitty-gritty of, 7 shares I have and... Yes, but all that has been already factored into. Arbitrage has been, gap has been narrowed. If you take 10 shares of DVR, put the cost of money for that, and then multiply that into 7 shares of Tata Motors, it's almost neck to neck.
Previously, the percentage
was much. When I was buying Tata DVR at 25 rupees, Tata Motors was at
25 rupees.
Yeah, Tata Motors was trading at 200, 300 rupees. There was a huge gap that slowly come.
Yeah, 700 and 1000.
Yes. So now it's here neck to neck. So because as soon as I announced the ratio 7:10, it came up to that level and stopped. tomorrow, let's say they change the ratio from 5:10 or something, then you'll see that DVR price correct to come to that level. So keep that in mind. So don't pay too much attention to all that. If you're interested in Tata Motors, it's a great company, but is it at value, right?
Okay.
So see the historical PE, like I said, 10 years. Focus on that. See if it's trading below that. And if you have enough Tiffin coffee, then buy in Tiffin coffee range, and not to go put 10,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees. Like I said, a lot of people are doing that in South Indian Bank and PG invested.
Buying 15,000 shares and all.
I do not know. Okay, so what calculation? Because that's not the way I look at it. Even yesterday, I bought a Tiffin coffee. Tomorrow also, I'll buy a Tiffin coffee. And I stay at that level. Because my thing is, I keep accumulating over a long period of time. My cost average also is manageable. And psychologically also, it's easy for me. Otherwise, what will happen is, today you put 1 lakh and it becomes 60,000 rupees tomorrow. Till it crosses 1 lakh and becomes 2 lakh, you'll be scared.
Yeah.
But when it touches 1 lakh, you'll say, yeah, I want to exit. Take my
Rather
money.
than going in the business, we look at profit, exit, and
Don't even look at profit. You're like, oh, I can escape now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this.
Okay.
That will happen. So be careful.
So I hope that this video was informative and you had some knowledge about Tata Motors DVR. So in the Instagram ID, which I have mentioned below, message me the companies which I want to discuss in the Be Rich podcast videos. So we'll look at the in-depth analysis of that particular company. So if you found this video useful, please share it with your friends whom you think it will be helpful for them, so that they will also understand the minute details what we are mentioning in the video. And please subscribe to the channel for more kind of videos. Thanks for watching the video.
Thank you.